Hiring cheap and going for cheap talent is going to cost you way more in the long term when you are hiring and building a remote team. The challenge is when you pay cheap, you get results cheap as well. Every time when I consult with business owners, people want to micromanage people. And let me tell you straight, it's almost impossible to micromanage people when they are working remotely. And this is a common pattern I have seen with every single person where they say remote team doesn't work for me. How do I know if I'm getting a return from my remote team? And how do I make sure that everyone knows as well that they are winning? And the biggest answer for this is I'm Darshan Chavan, and over the past 11 years, I have helped hundreds of business owners like you get more free time, increase profits, and also unlock exponential growth using remote teams. I have also built my own team of over 170 staff in around 4 countries. In this podcast, I'll share with you the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership tools that will help you build a remote team that scales without any chaos. Ready to grow your business faster with less stress? Let's go. After running remote teams for over 11 years, here's my complete brutal share about how to build a really high-performing remote team. But before we go into how to build a remote team, let's understand the reason why it is so important to have a remote team. As they say, if you have a big enough reason, the how becomes so much more easier. The first and the most important one is you get access to a global talent. Okay, which has a huge amount of experience, and more importantly, you would be able to tap into the talent that is hungry, that's driven, and is really there to make an impact on your business. Whereas when you don't hire remotely, you are restricted to a particular geographic location, and that's where your talent hunt ends. Whereas when you tap into a global talent, you would be able to get so much more attention, so much more access as well. More importantly, the hunger and the drive would be next level. The second reason why you can consider running a remote team is because you won't have many fixed expenses. If you look at most of the businesses, one of the biggest expense on their line item is going to be an office rent. Whereas when you start working remotely, this expense is completely eliminated. Imagine what you would be able to get into if you have this eliminated. You might be able to spend more on ads and hiring better talent, many other things. The third biggest reason why people usually go for a remote team is because of really big profit margins. Once you have a bigger profit margins, you would be able to grow your business so very, very well because it won't have any impact on your cash flow. And more importantly, you will be able to spend it on ads. And that's what we did in one of our businesses. With all the profits we were making, we were able to put everything on Google ads and Facebook ads, and we were growing pretty fast. We grew so fast that we were recognized as one of the 100 fastest growing businesses in Australia. And I credit most of it for us to build a remote team. And another reason why you need to build a remote team is because you won't have much of a red tape. You don't need to pay any employee tax, any payroll tax, be it super, 401k, nothing as such. And it will be so much more flexible to grow your business. And more importantly, you get to work with people who sometimes feel so blessed, so grateful, and absolutely pumped to go to work. And this is a big one I have personally experienced. When you work with people who are happy to come to work, it's an amazing effect that can have on your business. And last but not the least, another thing which I have experienced is how well you would get to support your own clients. With one of our businesses, one of our key selling points is we support clients from 4:30 p.m. up until 7 p.m. When you hire from overseas, even though we are 2 hours ahead of them, it still might be 4 p.m. for them, even though it's 6 p.m. for us. In this way, clients really love that. Clients love that you are able to provide them after-hours support as well. And a clear indicator is in one of our business, currently we are the top 2 rated on Trustpilot across all the other businesses. And the biggest reason being because of the service and the support our team is able to provide them. And let me get into it now. How do you really build a remote team? So I'll be able to explain it to you in different steps. And I can tell you in example as well how we go about it. The most important one, which most people don't look at it, is building your company brand. Because when you are trying to tap into a global market, you need to understand that they are getting job offers. They are getting opportunities from a wide range of people, especially if you're going for an A player, all right, like a cream of the crop talent, then it comes down to how well are you good in selling your own company. So start working on your Glassdoor page, okay? Because that's the first place really top talent go to look at and know about your company. Ask your current teammates and employees as well to go ahead and rate your company. Make it as a project that you're going to get at least 4.5 to 5-star rating on Glassdoor, because that's the first place all top talent go to research about your company. What we did with one of our businesses was we created a separate landing page only to attract top level talent. You might have heard about creating landing pages for opt-ins, all right, creating sales pages to get clients. But what we did was we made a twist and we created a landing page only to hire top level talent. And it had an amazing hook, a call to action, all the video testimonials, and also case studies of our current staff. What do they like working with us? All right. Why would they come to work? And also, what were some of the personal things that they achieved while working in the company? So it's really important that you take some time in building this landing page rather than just having a boring job description and a job ad, which won't stand out. All right. It's always different is better than better. How can you stand out in the job market, and how can you make sure it's more enticing, more appealing? Another thing that we usually add on our landing pages of our recruitment ads is our top values, because you would want to attract only those people who can resonate with your values, because once they resonate with your values, they feel that, you know what, this is the company that I want to work for. And at the same time, your goal would be to drive away those people who cannot relate to your values. Once this is done, it becomes so much more easier for you to start attracting and getting those talent into your company. This would be a big one. And also, what we do on the landing page is we clearly mention the different personal results the people in our company have achieved. A recent example is one of our sales manager bought an amazing white color SUV. And we have even added the picture of that on the landing page, because when people start relating that, yes, once I join this company, I will be able to get similar results, that's when the attraction switch happens. The second and the most important thing that we need to work on as business owners and business leaders is about building an amazing culture. And I think so this is going to be one of the most important things that you can do as a leader or a business owner or as an entrepreneur, because this is something that will be really hard to delegate, all right, and outsource. Whereas you as a business owner, if you take ownership of it, there are amazing things that happen. And I'll be discussing what do we do to build an amazing culture where people love to come to work, refer other people to come to work, and also stay with the company for a longest duration of time. We have team members in our company who have been with us for 7 years, 8 years, and 9 years as well, which is sometimes very hard or unheard of. The reason being, people usually get bored, and also they get a lot of opportunities when you work remote because it's abundant. Like the world is your oyster. So they would be getting opportunities from everywhere. So what I'll be sharing with you now is what are the things that we do to build an extremely high performing remote team culture. The first and foremost is having amazing recognition systems, because people usually come for the pay rise, but they stay if they feel that they're being recognized, they're being appreciated, and they feel the encouragement. So this is the core of it. Every team member needs to feel that they are recognized and the work that they are doing adds value to the customers and clients. I'll share a quick example with you. This is a routine and rhythm that we do in our company, where every month we get a few of our clients to hop on Zoom and we have a quick session with them and tell them how has our work impacted them. What's the result that they have got before they started working with us, and after they've started working with us, what are the results that they have got. And the entire company is on Zoom listening to the results, the transformation the client has had. This is where the team feels that they are doing something bigger rather than just showing up for a pay rise or a paycheck. They know that they're being and having a bigger impact. This is a crucial rhythm that we do once every month or at least once every 2 months. So people know that whatever work they are doing, it has a contribution, it has an impact. And the second thing also that we work on while building a culture is people want to have fun. Okay, this is really important. Sometimes as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we might think that fun is not important. Let's just get shit done. Let's get the results happening. But for me personally, this was a very important thing to understand. I might not need fun, but people in the team need it. Okay, so they are here to have fun, and also it increases the engagement. It builds amazing bond with people. And one rhythm that we do every single month is called as a Fun Friday event, where we play a lot of games online. All right, there are times where people dress up for Halloween, for Christmas, many other things, and where they can connect and interact with their team members on a personal level. Trust me, this has the biggest impact, especially when we are going for bigger numbers, when we are going for bigger targets. It just brings down the pressure, and people like to rest and relax as well. And another thing that we need to work on really hard is on how to build engagement in the business, because the better the engagement, better the productivity of team members as well. One thing that we did a few years ago as well was to have like a biggest loser competition. So it was like a 3-month sprint for 90 days where people were able to get their own weights in. And at the end of 3 months, the people who won got like a Fitbit tracker and many other goodies and freebies as well. And we could see that we had created a separate Slack channel for this, and people were over there posting their food pictures, posting their workouts, posting how much weight they have lost, how many steps they did it. Because with this, what happens is they can see that they're not just earning an income, they're having a personal transformation as well. This is what really makes people stay in your organization. And after engagement, the biggest one that is like a foundation is you understanding what are your core values. All right. And what do those core values mean? Not something that's that you put it on a blank sheet of wall and people don't even know that. And how are you going to measure your values? Because at the foundation of it, culture comes down to values. And this is something that you can do as an exercise with your team, with your leadership team, and have around 4 to 5 values that people can relate to. And the way that we identify and reward people on our values is during our monthly town hall, which we do on the first day of every single month for 1 hour, where we recognize those people who really embodied those values, who really exhibited those values as well. And in this way, people know that, yep, this is being recognized and this is what we need to do. And another biggest reason where we use values is also in hiring and also letting go people. Because when we know that someone is not related to this value, it's always better to let them go to the marketplace. And we always hire people who match our values. Just quickly, guys, if you have found us struggling to scale your business without burning out or hiring the wrong people, we can help. Book in a call with me using the link in the show notes, and let's help you build a lean and a high-performing remote team that frees up your time and also increases your profits. Now, back to the episode. The third one and the biggest one, which can make or break your company, is about hiring. All right. They always used to say that right people in the right seats. Even if you have read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, he mentions a lot about right people in the right seats. But I rarely used to understand what does it mean? What exactly does Jim mean by saying right people in the right seats? I used to think that you need to hire for just like the right experience and put them in the position, but it was not just that. And everything changed for us when we started using personality profiling. And currently in our businesses, we use disc profiling. If you not know much, go and look at Tony Robbins' disc profiling. You can see that there are usually 4 different kinds of personalities, like high D, high I, high S, and high C. D stand for those people who are result oriented. All right, they're more about action, making things happen, who are inborn leaders. And I stands for those personalities who are more extroverted, who are party people. All right, and they're always fun, they're jovial, they're very outgoing people. Okay, and the S personality stands for those people who are very good counselors, who are very good at follow through. Okay, and they take action without even you needing to follow them through. All right, and C stands for those personalities which are analytical, detail oriented, who loves charts, numbers, and everything. Once you really understand a particular person's disc profiling and what disc profiling is needed for this particular role, it becomes so much more easier. And I had to learn this through hard things. The biggest one happened was it was almost like 5 years ago. I tried to hire a person who was a high I personality, okay, but she was given an admin and a detail oriented role. Can you see the mismatch? Someone who's more extroverted, all right, who always thinks big picture, they were not able to perform this detail oriented task at all. And how much our mentoring, how much our coaching you do, whatever resources you provide for them, it just did not work. It took me almost 6 months to learn that I have placed the wrong person in the wrong seat. And no matter what I do, it doesn't come natural to that person. To be honest with you, it was my mistake, all right, not that person's, that we did not use the right personality profiling to put in that particular job position. To be honest with you, the best personality that would have suited this was an S and C type personality who has the detail orientation, who loves numbers, who loves charts. If we had hired that person and put it in this particular admin role, they would have flourished like anything. So that's the reason why it's so important to understand the disc profiling, and also more importantly, hiring for hunger, hiring for the grit more than anything else. Here's the 4th brutal advice about leading a remote team. And whenever I speak with business owners, this is one of the biggest challenges they face. And they keep asking, how do I know if I'm getting a return from my remote team? All right. And how do I make sure that everyone knows as well that they are winning? And the biggest answer for this is you having a clear-cut reports and dashboards. Until unless you don't have a clear-cut dashboards and reports that are visible to everyone in the company, you would be so hard for you to lead a remote team. Because what happens is when people are confused, when they don't know that they are winning, it just delays the execution and it'll just delay all your projects as well. Whereas when people know what is expected of them, it speeds the results. And they know that as well, this is the numbers that I need to get to succeed in this business or succeed in this project. So what we do is we have different dashboards for different projects and also one main dashboard for the entire company. So with this, what happens is it reduces our micromanagement, because no one, trust me, no one likes to be micromanaged no matter what happens. And more importantly, this is where I can see more business owners becoming more chaotic, because they don't know what's happening and they keep messaging people on Slack and always asking them for an update. But imagine every day morning or every day evening, you get a report which is very visual and you can see what exactly is happening with each team member and each project. It gives you so much more clarity and hope. And most of the times I've seen business owners try to complicate this thing. You don't need to. When we first started, we were just using Google Sheets. All right. Most of the people in your team can prepare it. And here's the secret. The more simple And the more clearer and the less numbers are there in the dashboard, the more easier it's going to be. And have seen over and over again with many business owners and myself as well in the beginning days, I used to have 15 numbers, 15, 20 things to track, and it used to create more chaos than clarity. So when we narrowed it down to just the basic, maybe 5 or 6 things that we need to track and which aligns to our quarterly and yearly goals, things become so much more easier. Here's the fifth brutal share on running a remote team. And this is so much more important than we think. It's about communications and rhythms and routines. And I'm guilty of this as anyone else as well, because we know that, we get busy with work, we get busy with tasks and projects, but you can never lead a highly effective team that you don't communicate or talk to. Sometimes over communication is sometimes way better as well than not communicating, because it's important for the team to know as well that you are in touch with them. And this is a common thing that I hear from some of my team members. When we do a feedback, the reason why they love working for a company is because they feel that we are hands-on. By this, I don't mean to say that you need to work 24/7, keep messaging them, keep texting them all the time, but at least keeping a tab and understanding that everyone is aligned to the company goals. And the easiest way that we do this is by using a rhythm and routine. And one of the biggest books that helped us set up this one was by Vern Harnish, called as Scaling Up. If you get a time, do read that or even just go through it as a manual. It'll give you an entire set of rhythms and routines that you can set up in your business so that people know where they're going. And more importantly, communicating it to them in a weekly manner that they're winning. And even though we have many routines and rhythms and touch points, the biggest ones that I'll be highlighting over here are, the first one is a weekly one-on-one. So this goes on for anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes with your key players or with your leadership team, where we discuss the wins that they had for last week, the progress on their trackers for the monthly goals, any challenges that they are having, and where I need to support them to hit their goals. So this is all already set up in the calendar, and it usually happens on Monday or Tuesday, where we don't need to have a lot of randomness. Once we do this weekly one-on-one, things become so much more easier. And on Wednesdays, we have an hour of leadership meeting as well. This is where we grow the skills of the leadership team. What are the most crucial things that you need to grow? What are the challenges that the teams are having? We try to address this as well. And on top of that, we also have a monthly town hall where we show to the entire team what have been some of the significant milestones that we have achieved. Where are we going as a company? So in this way, we try to maintain as much constant communication as possible. And also, another key important report that we usually get from team members is an end of the day report. This is where you get clarity on what has been happening every single day. And you can also start seeing if there's any gaps between what you have communicated and what the team is performing. And all you need to do is, sometimes you don't need to interact with the team member every day. All right. All you need to do is look at the end of the day report template, and you can see where they are winning, what help they need, and how can you support them. So once you have this particular rhythm and routine sorted out in your remote team, it's going to be so much more easier for you to grow it. Here's the sixth and another very important discussion that I would like to have with you. Okay, because when people start thinking about hiring people from remote, they think that they just need to pay $5 an hour for a person. They need to hire cheap. The challenge is, when you pay cheap, you get results cheap as well. So my suggestion is, pay for the value, not for the location. The reason being, when you try to hire cheap, it does cost you a lot more in the long term. Imagine trying to go through the hiring process, the recruiting process, the onboarding, and the training process over and over again. And my core philosophy is, A players are free. Especially when you give them a vision, when they know what is expected of them, it's so much more easier. And I have started to experience this more and more when I start hiring people from remote. The more I pay value, the better results I start getting. I always remember a chat which I had with one of my mentor. This was almost like 8 years ago. At that time, I just had a few admin staff working for me. And I was like, wow, I have amazing staff. I have amazing team members who are working for me. And they're doing an exceptional job. And that's when my mentor, Rob, told me very clearly. He said, Darshan, you'll be really surprised in 5 years' time, the amount of talent that you will be able to work with. Okay, so never settle. There's always the next level talent that's waiting there for you to take your business and your goals to the next level. And the only chokehold will be your level of leadership. The better you grow yourself as a leader, the better talent that you will be able to hire. So always, I keep reminding myself out there is a better talent that's available out there to help us achieve our goal. And as you might have read in the book, it's always who, not the how. The bigger goal you have, you need to have always a better team. Here's the final brutal truth about building a high performance remote team. And this is going to be the most important one and the hardest one to develop as well, is employing and having a results-based method of leadership and management than micromanaging people. And every time when I consult with business owners, this is a common pattern I can see where people want to micromanage people. And let me tell you straight, it's almost impossible to micromanage people when they are working remotely. It's going to be a drain on your energy, your capacity, and your own potential. Because I've had scenarios as well when I try to mentor business owners, and there have been instances where they've asked people to jump on Zoom from the time they log in at 9 a.m. and be on Zoom until 6 p.m. on Zoom, where the business owner is looking at what they're doing. Can you imagine the drain of your own potential when you're trying to do that? And imagine someone like your team member trying to work with that kind of a leader. It's an absolute disaster and it is not going to work. And this is a common pattern I have seen with every single person where they say remote team doesn't work for me. The reason being, we are not leading people based on results and numbers and KPIs and OKRs that they need. Rather than that, trying to touch base with them 20 times in a day, asking them, what are you doing? What are you doing? How many hours did you work? Which is really stifling their own growth. So the best way to really lead people is to really tell them from the time that you onboard them, what does winning look like? And one particular template that we use is called as a job scorecard template. And once you start using this job scorecard template, everything is documented, where they know that when we have a call next month, this is exactly are the top 3 to 5 things that are expected of me. These are the numbers that I need to hit. And these are the top 6 projects that I need to execute on. So once this clarity is there, it becomes so much more easier for people. And as how I discussed in the video as well about having dashboards, having reporting, everything comes down to us as business owners to set this up. And the more we adopt a results-based method of leading teams, it's going to be so much more easier and you get your own peace of mind as well. And this is how you can scale and build a really high-class remote team. There you go. Those are the 7 ways to build a really high-performing remote team that manages by itself. I hope I have given you some value, and comment below if you can see you're able to relate to any of these points as well. I look forward to sharing with you many more strategies and tricks and tips as well on building remote team so that you can get massive value and you can grow your business as well. If you got any value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership insights you need to scale with remote teams and grow a smarter business. If you want more support, check out the link in the show notes for our free remote team playbook that will help you hire, train, and lead a world-class remote team. And don't forget to follow us on socials at Darshan Chavan. And remember, scale smarter, not harder.